The Midnight Warrant. It was just after midnight when the porch lights of Willow Creek Ranch flickered on like a chain reaction, casting long shadows across our new cabin's driveway. My wife, Sarah, and I were unloading boxes from our rental truck, exhausted but relieved to finally reach our new home after a late flight from Portland. We'd barely opened the tailgate when a sharp voice cut through the stillness. "You're trespassing on private property." Eleanor Thompson stood on her porch, clutching a worn community rulebook, her gray hair pulled tight in a bun that screamed authority. Behind her, the HOA board emerged, phones raised, recording us like we were starring in a late-night crime drama. Eleanor's call to 911 echoed in the quiet night. "We have intruders at 214 Oak Ridge Lane." As Sheriff Tom Bennett arrived, I reached for our deed in a file box. A single paper slipped out, fluttering to the ground at his feet. He picked it up, his flashlight catching the bold header, "FBI Warrant, Special Agent Daniel Harper." Eleanor's smug expression froze as the sheriff's posture shifted, his eyes narrowing. The HOA's phones lowered, and a tense silence fell over Willow Creek. That one piece of paper was about to unravel a conspiracy that would shake this community to its core. Sarah and I weren't just new homeowners. I was Special Agent Daniel Harper, FBI Financial Crimes Division, and Sarah was Agent Laura Bennett, DEA, working undercover as a schoolteacher and accountant. We'd bought this cabin as part of Operation Silent Grove, a 6-month investigation into a multi-state HOA corruption ring. Eleanor Thompson, the HOA president, was our primary target, flagged for forcing residents to sell their homes at rock-bottom prices through predatory fines and shady contractor deals. We'd chosen a midnight move-in to avoid attention, but Eleanor had been waiting. Her rulebook was her weapon, and she wielded it with the precision of a seasoned bully. "Section 8.4 prohibits unapproved move-ins after 10 p.m., she snapped, waving the book like a judge's gavel. Sarah played her part perfectly, offering a warm smile. "We're so sorry, we didn't mean to cause a fuss. Our deed is right here." But Eleanor wasn't interested in paperwork. She wanted control. When Sheriff Bennett arrived, his tired eyes suggested he'd dealt with Eleanor's theatrics before. "Let's see that deed," he said, but the fallen warrant changed everything. "Agent Harper," he said carefully, "this isn't a typical trespassing call, is it?" Eleanor's face drained of color as she read my name and title. Sarah stepped forward, her sweet facade gone. "DEA Agent Laura Bennett. We need to discuss some irregularities in Willow Creek's finances, Mrs. Thompson." The HOA board scattered like roaches, their phones no longer weapons but liabilities. Eleanor's bravado crumbled, but she tried to deflect. "This is outrageous. Everything we do is by the book." Her voice cracked, betraying her panic. Sheriff Bennett, now fully alert, turned to her. "Ma'am, I suggest you cooperate. This just got federal." The next morning, Sarah and I set up in our cabin, laptops open, piecing together the evidence we'd collected over months. Eleanor's HOA had fined residents for absurd violations, $600 for unapproved mailbox colors, and $2,000 for non-compliant lawn ornaments. These fines drove families out, allowing Eleanor's contractor allies to buy properties at a fraction of their value. Our financial analysis showed $280,000 funneled to Green Valley builders for repairs that never happened. But the stakes were higher than we realized. A text from a block number chilled me. They know about Emily. Emily, my sister, had died 2 years ago in a Nevada condo collapse caused by shoddy construction linked to a corrupt HOA. Her death had driven me to join this task force. Someone knew, and they were using it against me. At 10 a.m., we confronted Eleanor at her pristine colonial-style home, projecting our evidence onto her garage door like a public shaming. Bank statements showed her funneling HOA funds to shell companies. Surveillance photos captured her counting cash in her basement. Audio recordings of HOA meetings revealed her strategy. "If we make life expensive enough, they'll sell cheap. Green Valley will handle the rest." Eleanor's protests were weak. Those were legitimate fines. The board approved everything. But the residents we interviewed told a different story. Margaret Wilson, a retired nurse, had been fined $1,200 for planting tulips instead of daisies. John Carter, a Vietnam veteran, faced a $9,000 lien for flying a POW flag. 18 of the 24 families we spoke to had been pressured to sell below market value. Then came the bombshell. Frank Larson, who'd sold us our cabin, revealed Eleanor's operation was part of a larger network spanning 6 states. Run by Coastal Properties Incorporated. Eleanor's just a cog, he said, handing us recorded calls. They force out middle-class families to control voting districts for their political allies. The situation escalated when Sarah received a call from a hospital claiming I was in critical condition from a car accident. It was a trap to isolate me, but she had to check. Alone in the cabin, I got a chilling call. You're alone now, Agent Harper. We know exactly where you are. Vehicles moved through the woods, headlights off. I was out of time. Desperate, I went live on Facebook, broadcasting to thousands. I'm Special Agent Daniel Harper, and I'm investigating a criminal conspiracy in Willow Creek. They're sending armed men to silence me. I held up the warrant, detailing Eleanor's crimes and Coastal Properties' reach. The viewer count soared as residents shared the stream. Eleanor made a fatal mistake, storming up to my cabin during the broadcast. "End this now," she shouted, but the comments section was already flooded with residents' stories of her tyranny. Margaret and John arrived, followed by dozens of neighbors, forming a human shield around my cabin, phones recording. "We're done with your rules, Eleanor," John yelled. As Coastal Properties hired muscle closed in, FBI tactical units and Sheriff Bennett's deputies arrived, arresting the mercenaries. Eleanor, caught on camera, broke down. "I didn't mean for it to go this far," she sobbed. "My husband's medical bills bankrupted us." Coastal offered a way out. Her confession, watched by 18,000 people, sealed her fate. 8 months later, Eleanor's arrest had sparked a nationwide reckoning. Coastal Properties' hard drives revealed a corruption roadmap, implicating 180 officials and 350 HOAs, affecting 40,000 families. Eleanor was sentenced to 12 years, but cooperated, exposing a scheme to manipulate elections through real estate fraud. Coastal CEO, Richard Vance, got life without parole. The FBI mole, Deputy Director Paul Grayson, received 20 years. Willow Creek dissolved its HOA, replacing it with a neighborly association led by Margaret. She planted a vibrant tulip garden, and John's POW flag flew high, joined by others. Sarah and I were honored by the FBI and DEA, but the real closure came from a letter from Emily's neighbor, thanking us for exposing the Nevada HOA's role in her death. We bought a home in a no-HOA neighborhood, painting our door a defiant orange. Our new neighbors were a true community, helping without bureaucracy. Margaret and John married in her tulip garden, their flag overhead, a symbol of their reclaimed freedom. Their invitation read, "You gave us our home back. We're family now." Sarah and I now train agents for a DOJ task force, chasing global crime syndicates. But that warrant on my desk reminds me that justice starts with one person asking the right questions. Eleanor's empire fell because ordinary people, Margaret, John, Frank, refused to stay silent. If you faced bullies like Eleanor or fought unfair systems, share your story below. Do you think communities can stop corruption without violence, or is confrontation inevitable? Take a stand and let us know. We're all in this together.